I was watching this video just now of a labor and delivery nurse sharing her 4 favorite things that the baby daddy has said while the woman is giving birth in the hospital. First one is, "I'm bored." The second is, "How do I get a paternity test?" Oh, they get better. Third is, "Do you think she's being a little dramatic?"
No.
And the fourth is, "Wow, I wish she'd make these noises for me." What are you doing? Men?
Why?
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 Welcome back to Screen Time. I'm your host, Josh Youngbar, and I have with me my co-hosts, Claudia
Hello.
and Jared.
Hey.
And on this episode of Screen Time, we are covering, we're following through on Edgar Wright's films, and we are covering Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This film came out in 2010. It's PG-13, an hour and 52 minutes. Our synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
In a magically realistic version of Toronto, a young man must defeat his new girlfriend's 7 evil exes one by one in order to win her heart.
Ex-boyfriends. Exes.
Exes, not ex-boyfriends.
So I have to defeat your 7 evil ex-boyfriends? Exes. 7 evil exes, yes. What did you think those exes were? Kisses?
Kisses?
7 little kisses? This is going to go on the rest of the podcast, everybody.
All right, so we got director Edgar Wright, writer Michael Bacala, Edgar Wright, and then Brian Lee O'Malley, who did the graphic novel originally. Cinematographer, we have Bill Pope, who also did The Matrix.
Whoa.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2.
Dang. Okay.
And a bunch of other things, but those are some of the big
main ones.
big ones.
That's awesome.
And then
Don't even need anything else besides The Matrix.
I know.
I was
You're
going to
right.
say, you could have just stopped
But
it
the
there.
funny, and I'll just say, in some of these fight scenes, a lot of times I was thinking they kind of remind me of like the like fight scenes in The Matrix, where it's like kind of a little, like intentionally
Heightened.
Yeah. So it's not
Now
like
that you
quite real.
mention it, yeah.
And I remember thinking that. So I don't know if I didn't look at it, but maybe they used some of the other like choreography and people, if he had done The Matrix. And then he also is, later when we do Baby Driver, he did Baby Driver. It's the same
cinematographer.
Yep.
Okay.
We are now working with $60 million for production costs. So, almost like 5 times
Yeah.
the last movie.
Yeah.
A lot of that went to the actors, I imagine.
Yes, but I mean, you can see it. I think it's
for sure.
Yeah, a lot of effects and stuff, special.
Yeah,
effects.
there's a lot of that. Yeah, you're right.
All right, and then, like, as you alluded to, we have a stacked cast.
Yes.
Which wasn't as, I would say, when the movie came out, not as stacked as it looks like today, right? Because we're talking 13 years ago. Some of these people were a little less popular.
That's true.
And
Sure.
not as well known. But we have Michael Cera, obviously playing the lead. We have Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Yep.
Yes. Kieran Culkin.
Yep.
Anna Kendrick, Brie Larson, Allison Pill, Aubrey Plaza, Johnny Simmons, Mark Webber, Ellen Wong, and those are our main cast, main talent. Then we have, the kind of the extras that play the different exes. So then we have Chris Evans, Brandon Routh, Jason Schwartzman, Mae Whitman, and Sancha Baba, however you say it, and then the Shanta and Kita Saito, which are the twins.
The twins.
Yeah.
The Katsunagi twins.
Twins.
Yep. So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
a lot of people. All right. So, overall, quick thoughts of this movie.
I think Josh should go first because you've seen this movie the least.
Yes.
Really? How many times have you seen it?
A lot.
Oh my
you
gosh,
said you haven't
Josh.
seen it in a while, right?
I hadn't seen it in a while, but I saw it. I mean, I saw it several times.
Okay.
Back in the day, just hadn't seen it in a while.
Okay. Well,
Genuinely,
But I mean, I don't really know.
more. Yeah. We watch this movie all the time.
I mean,
Okay.
I probably have
So-
seen this movie like 20 or 30 times. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, she's gonna be the most
Genuinely.
for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Overall thoughts. I mean, it's a great movie. I think all around, there's not. I would say there's not too much. The only thing I would say, and because we were talking about this, I think either last week in the TV one, maybe with Lucas, and we were trying to say he should watch it. That's the only thing. Watching it again, I was like, I don't know that he'll love it, because I think a lot of the references are very of the time, and so like he is a little bit too young to like.
Okay.
So I don't know if it would just quite hit the same.
Okay.
That's the only thing. That I mean, you might still like it just for other things, but like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be such a like a natural like. Oh yeah, this is good.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Which I know when I watched the first time, it was just like, you know, you're like, oh,
The generation.
You're just like, oh, someone sees me as a, right, and
Right. Yeah.
all these things. So
Yeah. I feel seen.
yeah,
Yeah.
my nerdiness is seen.
Yeah. True.
But yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I guess there is a little bit. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he might not understand, but still, just the way everything is executed. That's why I think
he might still
would
like it.
in
I'm just
that way.
saying,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite the home run when
Not all the
side.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand.
But yeah,
What did you think, Jared?
Sharon, your thoughts?
Okay. I mean, I've always loved this movie. I think I saw it a couple times in theaters when it came out, and I had no idea that it was based on a graphic novel. But yeah, I immediately loved it, and I must be very much in the age range
Yeah,
with him, because there's so much. And actually, every time watching it, even because I don't know how many times I've seen this movie at this point, but even this most recent time, every time I've picked up on more like little things that are said like in the background or off camera. Or like there is so much every time you watch this that you pick up on even more, just little things that he throws in there that are great. Yeah. And I think it's perfectly done. I haven't read the graphic novel, but I'd imagine it was done very well if they had the original writer involved in this to make sure that it was executed right. And I'm trying to think. It's definitely we'll go through. We have a couple more Edgar Wright movies to do, but it's definitely one of my favorites movies of his by far.
definitely his favorite so far.
Yeah,
That's what I would say.
oh yeah.
It's hard for me because this movie. Okay. My mom and I watched this movie on a whim one day. Just like, oh, this looks like an interesting movie. Let's watch it.
Really?
Sort of
That's
thing.
how you found out?
That is how
you
I
had
found.
no idea about it?
No idea about it.
Whoa.
We watched it, I don't know if on a streaming service or we rented it or something.
How are we talking? Like
I was in high school.
Okay.
And it just immediately became one of my favorite movies, like, period.
You also felt seen.
I also felt seen. And also just the characters in this movie are people that I would genuinely be friends with, like, in real life. So it's like...
Oh yes.
It just,
I agree with that. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. The scene of it, the style, how well they're able to do this sort of live action video game style. movie, I was blown away by it.
Very
and
anime too.
It's very anime. So many quotable lines. So many.
So it's more comic book than anime.
You're right.
Sure.
But it's yeah.
Because it is a comic. Essentially.
Yeah, but I feel like it has all those elements. It's like video game.
Yeah, there's
comic
definitely
book,
anime
like everything. Yeah,
types,
kind of all
yeah.
that like nerdy stuff put in together.
Yeah. And just it's so funny. I mean, the jokes are so. It's got like kind of a mix of that like dry, subtle humor where like if anybody else would say the joke, it may not land as well. But the characters that are like portraying themselves and saying the jokes throughout the movie, it just hits like every single time. Every single joke is just hilarious to me in this movie. I can't say enough. I love this movie so much.
And for people that don't know, Claudia could recite this whole movie, like from start to finish.
Yes.
All the dialogue, pretty much at this point.
Easily. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, the humor you were talking about, still recognizable as Edgar Wright, but it's different than the last two.
It's
very different.
I think
still
much funnier than the last two.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's Canadian humor. I don't know if that's like part of it because I don't really know like what's Canadian humor,
Right.
but it's not British humor.
Well, I mean,
But he's putting
his stuff in there, but
Yes.
I mean, you have the other two writers.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
So I think, and then you don't have Simon Pegg, who was writer on the other two movies. So either it's the lack of Simon Pegg's influence, probably a combination of that and these other guys' influence that gives it this different flavor where it's not like it's a completely different thing, because it's definitely, you see the same, like you see some of the same type of humor, but it's, to me, this one feels a little bit more polished versions of it. And I don't know if, because I know I didn't list out, but I feel like that the other guy that was the writer, that's not from the graphic novel, like he's like a writer in a lot of stuff. Like he's written a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Like on a lot of films. So like I wonder if there's like a little experience there to just kind of give it a little more polish, and then of course the other guy's there to give it the authenticity from the graphic novel, and you kind of have that kind of mesh of those three that kind of created the perfect script.
I also want to know how much, not just Michael Cera, because there's so many good actors in this movie, how much like they did that was off script that they kept. Because some of the jokes, it seems like they just kind of like maybe it was written as this is the part of the joke, but then they kept like going.
Maybe it's in the trivia.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something in trivia. I hope there's a lot of good stuff in trivia.
Yeah.
But yeah. Because it seems like some of the jokes in this, I don't know, it specifically like seems like something that,
but
they would have kind of kept going with, and they're like, "Oh, this is great, we'll keep it."
I mean, yes, ad-libbing happens, but then you think about like all the I would say feel randomness to the like way things are cut and like transition, like it's all of a sudden just like, whoa, we're here and then we're here, but yet it had to be intentional, like to plan all that stuff. So I mean, sometimes just if it's done well, it feels so natural
that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, it depends on the director really, which I feel like Edgar Wright, just going off the other movies too, would be a type of that would be fine with like the ad-libbing,
right? Because then you think of someone like Fincher, like how well those movies and the dialogue is, but there is no room for anything with Fincher, and you're doing 100 takes of every scene too. Yeah. So it's sometimes you don't know, right? So that there could be nothing ad-libbed in this, right? But it just seems that way. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll find out.
All right. So let's get into spoilers. Deep into the spoilers. All right. So overall, just talking overall plot and characters. I mean, the plot's pretty basic. Let's be honest. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, you get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Boy likes girl. Boy has to defeat exes for girl.
Yeah. Yeah. Jared, remember when you had to defeat all my exes?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
I
fun.
might. And I punched him so hard he saw the curvature of the earth.
Yeah.
Were they all ex-boyfriends?
Yes.
Not exes.
Not exes. Definitely ex-boyfriends. Oh, yeah. I just like don't know where to start.
Yeah.
What? So I was gonna say, who's your favorite
I only
character?
have one
I
drink.
only have one drink.
Who's your favorite character?
Character or performance? Because I might
Do
be.
you mean
well,
like actor or performance? Is that what you mean when you say it that way?
yeah, like
Because character would be the performance, right?
yeah, but I'm thinking like character, how the character was written, you know, who the character is, or how the actor
Well, let's say
did the
performance.
performance.
Let's do the performance.
Because I don't know, it might be different. You go ahead, because I gotta think
I have
about
a
it.
few
Yeah.
characters that I want to highlight. Julie, Aubrey Plaza's character,
Yes,
amazing. Nobody could have played it other than her, for sure.
She's so
And yet,
good.
it's just Aubrey Plaza.
It is. It's
Yes.
just Aubrey
Oh, yeah.
Plaza.
it's
Exactly.
But she's great. Yeah, yeah.
Have you tried the section marked "The Clash at Demon Head"? I mean, like, incredible.
Yes.
Chris Evans did a great job playing his character.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like this douchey, you know, movie star
Yeah.
who's full of himself.
But it's like
But
all
he's got
like
that voice, like he's like in an
yeah,
action movie
and it's
all
like,
the time.
but it's like B movie. It's like action B. Like it's like the
Right.
worst kind of like
Yeah.
Yeah.
cheesy action movie. It's like because you even see the trailer of one for a second when he's in the booth, the phone booth. It's so good, the dialogue that he
And I
says
guess
there.
at this point, he would have played Captain America, right?
That's what I'm thinking. Like
This is
he
true,
has to be
2010.
pretty
So he would have.
big of an actor, all like even in 2010. Yeah.
Wallace, the Culkin brothers character,
Kieran Culkin. Yeah.
amazing.
Yes.
He's my favorite.
Yeah,
That is my.
he certainly is up there. I would say he's just so good.
Yeah.
And then the third evil ex, who's the vegan.
Oh yeah,
That's Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh. Yeah.
Amazing. He did really, really great on that too.
Layla and his hair deflates.
Oh yeah. I only have 3. This is my first offense. I've got 3 strikes. Unlike so and so,
Don't only get 3 strikes.
yeah. You ingested gelato. Gelato isn't vegan. Smoking eggs, bitch.
I know because I don't have a note of that, but like just the vegan police in general
Oh,
was so
dude,
good.
I
Because ever
lost it
since
the
this
first time.
movie, I've always said
yes,
vegan police
I
now.
You got the green laser fingers, like
yeah.
bust to the wall.
Oh,
You
man.
knowingly ingested a plate of chicken parmesan. Chicken is a vegan?
Yeah. So good. I did make a note of it because it's just like
Okay.
there's nothing, I mean, like vegan power.
And the that's another like cameo though is the vegan police.
Yes.
The other guy looked
Yeah.
familiar too, but the one guy was hold on. Thomas Jane.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was the other guy I don't recognize as much, but I feel like
Did
I've seen him.
recognize
In,
it. Yeah.
When he first shows his vegan powers and he's coming through that brick wall and he's like, it's really not that big of a deal. He like kicks a hole through the
Dude,
wall.
the way he explains being vegan too, I'm like, this is exactly
Exactly how they
people
are.
talk.
They're elitists. Yes, they are. I don't partake in the meat, nor the breast milk, nor the ovum of any creature with a face.
And then the cap it all off is basically being vegan means you're better than everyone.
Yeah.
Like that's what she says at
Being
the
vegan
end.
makes you better than most people. He's like, bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did great. Great.
And of course, he's there with your fave, Brie Larson.
Okay, I'm gonna have a note about her because I love her in this.
Yeah, okay.
She is so good in this.
Yes, Ivy.
Yeah. She was one I was gonna mention. I'm
Scott's ex-girlfriend.
yeah. And
She
then
will not be named.
Yes.
I think best performance though, because I did have her down in Aubrey Plaza, Kieran Culkin, but I mean, Michael Cera too. Just
Oh, I mean, perfect.
But
Perfect
I say I was gonna back it up, because casting is really who he should be given the props, because like he's just doing Michael Cera.
He is, but it's perfect for the role.
It's right for the role. It was just like we were saying with Aubrey Plaza. Like you're like, okay, this is perfect.
Right. So the casting director or whatever is the one to
It was great.
Props to the casting.
Absolutely. Yeah. Great job. Knives Chow. She's Chinese.
Yes.
Punch the highlights out of her hair.
I have that written down. I love that line.
Oh yeah.
Love that line too.
Young Neil.
From now on forward, you will be called Neil. Oh my word.
So that's the thing, is that's why this movie, one of the many reasons why this movie is so good, is you could just quote any random part out of context and it's still funny.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so then from the characters, then like we'll go to the visuals, cinematography. So I think that just it's not the same as the stuff he was doing in the previous two movies.
Yeah.
And then like there's a little bit of that, but it's very different. Like there's like the fast cuts to like almost just like a page turn, or like a like a frame change in a comic book where it's like it just jumps and they're somewhere else. It fits his style to do that, but it is different than like what he was doing in the other movies.
And it's not a crazy amount of the same thing like we were talking about in Hot Fuzz, where it got
overdone. No.
Yeah.
No, well, there's not as many of the sound effects either.
No. But they still do
There's something
the thing though.
Yeah.
Like he's running quick out the door, whatever, and they do like the him turning the knob, and then all those is quick cuts. But I think it's done tastefully again in this.
Yeah.
It is.
He didn't go.
No, it's not overboard at all.
And there's not. It was not always not as. I mean, there's some in the beginning, but there's not as much of the smaller quick cuts either. Sometimes it's just like he turns and cuts, and then he's like somewhere else.
Yep.
But it's like a smooth transition where you think you kind of feel like it was the next step, but then like, does that make sense?
Well,
it's
yeah,
not the same as just like a cut of random.
And they do a lot of those random quick cuts, but as jokes too. Like the best one is anytime they mention his hair. And then and his hat's on. Like
Your
it
hair's
cuts
getting
and
shaggy.
yeah,
It is.
and his hat's on.
Scott Pilgrim
that's
is fully
perfect.
aware that it has been 236 days since his last haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all the different fight scenes though, and everything. Like, yeah, that's probably what you're talking about. Where probably the most visual and I don't know CG or whatever's going on, where they have to do a lot, which is probably a big part of the budget as well. I imagine all the stuff they had to add in with that. But what's cool is it seemed like I imagine everyone probably trained a lot because I didn't look like there was any stunt people doing the fights.
Yeah, there was a couple times.
I know there's ways to hide that.
Well,
but
there was a couple times where there was people's backs to things, and I was like,
okay, so maybe there was. Okay,
but yeah, it was definitely a unique style look to make it feel like it's a video game and comic book kind of mixed stuff, and but like. Also think there was I was gonna say, like, it was really interesting how they just kind of ease into the going from. I mean, it's funny the thing is like a realistic representation of Toronto, but like it starts out there's like subtle things, but it feels more grounded and real, and then it slowly and it does it really pretty seamless, like you don't quite realize,
right?
Which is
it's never jarring. Yeah, you're right.
Which is great. Just for like, because you could see a lesser movie, almost in like, oh, he goes through the portal and now he's in the video game world or whatever. Like like it like to almost like have this physical thing, but this is like no, it just kind of subtly grows and becomes part of his world, and then it never seems really out of place because you're kind of easing into it.
Right. Yeah, definitely.
And also, this style that you're talking about, I'm trying to think. I don't think any other movie has done this or has tried to emulate it even since then. So this is very unique, which is also a credit to everyone involved that they did this. And
like no one even tried to attempt to. I mean, probably somebody did, but we just didn't watch it. But
or not even close to it because it
right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because obviously people try to do the comic book looking thing on screen, but this is very different than that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did like the like just the a couple notes like of things like love the 8-bit intro, the Universal like it's just
right away.
Yeah, right at the start is like, oh, this is what you're in for.
You heard the fairy theme from Zelda as well, right? They
did that later, but so at first they had just the there was a different Zelda
right,
music.
There was two different ones.
There's
you're
Zelda
right.
music, and then there was the Zelda like opening a chest.
Yep.
And then there was the fairy music later. Yes.
What do you play? Wow. Zelda, Tetris. That's kind of a big question. Oh, man.
Dude, shout out to Neo also. I don't know who that actor is, but that guy too.
He's in Jennifer's Body.
Oh, you're right. He is in Jennifer's Body.
Yeah. No, he's great.
That's great.
Young Neo.
They love the intro credits.
Oh,
so
yeah.
punk.
Oh, yeah. It was awesome.
Punk.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like stylistically just cool. It reminded me of the Spider-Man, the Spider-Verse,
Right.
where like there's the punk, like the British punk.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, he's one of the best characters in that movie.
It just
kind
of made me think of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Got same style.
Is she gonna geek out on us?
She'll geek. She has the capacity to geek.
Because I wanted to geek out on us.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the visuals are just very unique and
yeah.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So thoughts about the soundtrack?
Well, I want to get before I do that. I have. Let me see. Two more people that I want to talk about that are in this. Well, you mentioned Mae Whitman, which I didn't realize that's Anne from Arrested Development.
Yeah.
Which is great. So she's the evil ex. It's just funny because she looks way different in this, but because I didn't know at first that was her. I'm like, oh yeah,
she's
her.
the fourth.
But, yeah. And then this one I did not know. I don't think Claudia did either. So this is crazy. Bill Hader is credited as the voice.
Really?
So I guess is it when he's like, Scott earned the power? Is that Bill Hader?
Yeah, and like in the beginning it was like a long time ago in Toronto, Canada.
So that was
Scott
Bill Hader.
Pilgrim was dating a high schooler. Yeah. That
That's
must be
so
Bill
cool,
Hader.
'cause I had no idea.
That's amazing. I had no idea either.
I know. I was looking at the whole cast to see if I could see
so
anyone.
cool.
Yeah.
I love when I learn new things.
Yep. Yep. And the thing is, I wish he actually showed up in this movie because he'd be perfect.
He would have fit in perfectly.
Yep.
Yeah.
But at least they
like
got
even
his
as like
voice.
an extra at the house party
Yeah,
where
just in one
Scott runs
scene.
into Ramona the first time. Hey, you know a
Got
girl
some
that has hair
battle
that looks like
scars,
this?
dude.
Yeah, that's Ramona Flowers.
Yeah, so but music so I was trying to find this. This is actually kind of hard to find because it looked like a lot of the music that was not with instrumental music that was in this. It seemed like Nigel Godrich, I think did a lot of it. He is the producer of Radiohead, which is cool. I didn't know that. He produced OK Computer, which is one of their best albums. So that was cool. But this was interesting. I didn't know about this because I will talk about the soundtrack because it's great. But Beck is the one that's doing the vocals and wrote a lot of the songs, which now makes sense because when I'm hearing them sing, obviously not for Black Sheep, but for because I'm going to shout out probably my favorite that they do is Garbage Truck. I think that's the best song that they do.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. So I think that's Beck singing, which makes sense now hearing it. And I think he wrote a lot of that music for like those kind of songs, like for the actual Sex Bomb band.
Sex Bomb.
Yeah.
Sex Bob
Yeah. But the soundtrack, I mean, there's so much great stuff in it. And then obviously Black Sheep is number one, which is by the band Metric.
Yeah.
But there is a version in this that Brie Larson actually is singing it, and she's also sounds good with it. It's not as good as the the original version, but you know, when you see her, she actually did the vocals for that, because you can listen to an alternate version of the full song with Brie Larson singing, which is cool. But yeah, it's all the stuff they do. Even hold on, this one you're gonna have to remind me. The first band in the Battle of the Bands. Scott and the Boys?
Crash and the Boys.
Crash and the Boys.
Is that girl a boy too?
Even the stuff they do. This song's called So Sad.
I'm so very, very sad. Go something
2
like
seconds
this.
long.
Yeah.
So sad.
Not a race, guys.
This next one goes out to the guy that's yelling from the balcony. It's called We Hate You, Please Die.
Like,
He's
even
like, great, love this one.
Well, yeah, I love this one. Like, even the stuff they do with the other bands too that they make. I don't know who did that or who wrote that, like those tiny little things, but it's all so great in this. Yeah. And there is some other songs that I'm not as well known that are kind of playing in the background that are from some other bands as well. But the stuff that was written for this movie was apparently a lot of it was Beck, which is cool.
Just made me think of like, because the Kieran Culkin's character, I feel like every time they'd wake up, he's like more guys.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
bed.
yeah.
Every time.
He's like double standard. I don't make the gay rule book. What going back to the Crash and the Boys scene when Scott's sister brings her new boyfriend and Wallace is just hitting on him the whole time. So funny. Hey, do they rock or suck? They have not started playing it. I think that whole scene with the first Evil X is just hilarious.
That is one of the best.
It is one of the best scenes
as a whole.
Because I'm just laughing the whole time.
Yeah. What is did any of the
Matthew Patel?
Yes.
Patel. Yeah, we'll talk about him too.
Mr. Pilgrim.
Was there any of the songs? Did you like any of the songs, like the actual songs, or did you or did any of them stand out to you?
Stand out. I mean, I like just the general sound of the main band.
Sex
like,
Bomb, yeah.
Sex, yeah. Like stuff I would have listened to when I listened to that kind of like totally. That's what that. I mean, that was like again one of those things where it's like when I was talking about like being like that scene of like I was around that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I would have been the young Neo. Yeah, because I don't play anything.
Hey, he plays bass eventually.
Yeah, he does play bass. That's true.
Knows my part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even all the lingo. I mean, this is very specific to me, but all the lingo, like when they're just talking about band stuff, is just like it is so spot on too.
Oh no, yeah.
Like it's so funny.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's very good.
I do love the way they show them doing the song Black Sheep.
Oh yeah,
and
that
the whole
scene gives
band.
me chills.
Yeah.
Like I just love it.
I mean, it's such a great song anyway, but the way they do that scene, they see all the band members, then you see her. Because they show up. How do they just randomly show up to that venue, right? And they don't even realize. No, they know that they're playing.
They know that they're playing. They're opening up for the Clash of Demon Head.
Right.
Remember, because Scott's like,
that's right. Yeah.
For the band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You should hear them live. They're much better live.
Dude, that's the other one. Okay, that's like a background thing that I feel like you wouldn't always pick up on. But the other one I always think of, because I've heard it even the first time and it made me laugh so much, was the guy at the party saying their first album is much better than their first album.
Yeah. So like
so
there's background banter
like
in this
that,
movie that's like so funny.
And it is the exact kind of person that's like an album or band elitist that's like, you know, would say that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're just making fun of it. It's great.
Exactly.
Isn't that the guy? That's the guy that like
Yeah, he's familiar
He's
too.
the
I don't
one
know.
that's.
But he plays that kind of role. I feel
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
he
lot.
does.
Like, he always feels like the know-it-all. Like,
Yep. Oh yeah.
yeah.
but he's the one that also like knows who she is.
Yeah,
but then
he's like, he
tells
knows
her-
everybody.
Yeah, he tells him to talk to somebody else.
Mhm.
Like I think
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza's.
Yeah,
maybe.
and then the lady dudes. Tell me
Lady
now.
dudes.
Lady dudes.
One of my other favorite. Cause I didn't write down much just because I remember a lot of it, but I'm gonna pee due to boredom. It's
I'm gonna
great.
pee. And then there's the pee bar.
Yeah.
That's so cool. I love that the pee bar. Like, this is such one of those like,
Yeah.
little subtle things that they add, like that look like pixelated or just
Yeah,
so
look
funny.
like a video game stuff.
Yeah.
Because he grabs the one up when it like shows
Mhm.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a life.
Get
yeah.
the life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I gotta pee on her. I mean, I gotta pee.
Oh yeah, it's like the dial
It's like
goes
the
right in
dial,
between.
right- I gotta pee and who her. Oh my gosh. You
Dude.
punched me in the boob.
Prepare to die, obviously.
Oh.
Where'd that come from? My brain. Dude, that's the thing is they keep going with it too. Like
They really
the joke will
do.
stop. And then that's some of the stuff I didn't pick up on right away. Because like when she responds with my brain, like I don't remember hearing that the first time.
Yeah.
Watching
It's because
the
you're still
movie.
laughing about the previous
Right.
joke. You don't even hear what's
Yeah,
happening
and then it
after
just
that.
keeps going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Mm.
I feel like we could go through all the X's,
Yeah.
like scenes,
So yeah,
or
so
at least most of
we
them.
kind of talked about the first one. Anything else about the first one? Like good old
Matthew
Matthew
Patel.
Patel.
Matthew Patel, no.
He looks like a One Piece character.
He does.
He does.
Yes.
Because
Are
we
you
were
a pirate?
talking.
He does.
Pirates
Pirates
are
are
in
in
this
this year.
Yes.
Because we were talking about that. It was the guy that was with Buggy in One Piece.
Yes. With
We were
the
talking about. We
black
said
and green hair.
we said that looks like
Matthew
Matthew Patel
Yeah.
from Scott Pilgrim.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yep. So then the
his
second,
song's great too. That they do.
Yeah.
If you want.
Mhm.
Yeah, he does the
On
Indian
demon
dancing.
hipster chicks.
Yeah.
Tell him, Maddie.
Yeah.
Okay, so next is,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans' character. Mhm.
Lucas Lee.
yeah,
Lucas Lee. Yeah.
big fan. Why wouldn't you
Why
be?
wouldn't you be? Oh yeah, because Wallace is there. He's
Yeah.
like he's there
I want to have
immediately.
his adopted babies.
yeah,
he says.
yeah. He's like in love with them.
He's
Yeah.
so, yeah. Yeah, that was a really cool scene, especially with the stunt doubles.
Yeah.
That fight scene was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he just talks him into blowing himself up, essentially. There's
You-
girls watching.
It's called a grind, bro.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
that was,
That was good.
It's just good to see him play it because he
it
doesn't,
is. Yeah.
he doesn't play that kind of role very often.
No, he's
No.
rarely silly, like,
Or douchey.
or douchey. Exactly.
And his voice he does for this is perfect.
It is. Bucko. And then next is
Yeah. Todd Ingram.
Todd. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, the same Todd? Because remember they like, isn't he talking about like because he didn't realize and they were like he was in the band.
Yeah.
And, like, he was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yes.
yeah, she left
That's
me. She left me for Todd, and she's like, "Oh, I dated a Todd."
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Didn't really work out well, she said. Something like that.
Yeah, that's another cool thing is her little like mini where she explains and they show like, like a comic book.
Yeah,
Her explaining
different-
like
Yeah.
each
her
of the
moments
X-Men.
of
Yeah.
like the.
Yeah. I like that too.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's
That was the base off is with Todd.
yes.
Because that would be right after they do the song on stage. Yeah.
And they
I
do
can see in your mind's eye that you put the soy milk in the one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get me to break vegan edge.
I'll take the one with soy. Thanks, Tool.
This made me think of the Princess Bride,
Which part of Princess
where,
Bride?
where he's like puts the poison, and he's like, "Why?
Oh, yeah.
I'll take the
Exactly.
because
Yes.
you would put it as close as you." It's like the little like switcheroo thing. and
Uh-huh.
That just
That's
made me think.
exactly
In
right.
my mind's
Yeah.
eye or whatever.
He's like, "Well, I just thought about doing it really hard."
Yeah.
Mhm.
You just drink half and half, baby.
Yeah. So they do the base off. That's something I can mention is this movie, for the most part, everyone is actually playing their instrument.
Nice.
Especially where you can tell the most is when Scott is playing the song for Ramona on the acoustic.
Mhm.
Like he 100% is playing that.
Yeah.
I wrote you a song.
Yeah. Dude,
wait
and
till
her
it's
response. Yeah, can't wait till it's finished. Finished? That's one of the best responses to
You know your hair? It's blue.
dude, he's like staring at her hair. He's like this.
I change my hair every week and a half, dude. Get used to it.
He's like, he keeps
Yeah.
staring at it. He's just like, his eyes are always up there.
Mhm.
That cracked me up this time in particular.
She changed it without even making a big deal of it. She's fickle, impulsive, spontaneous. Oh God, what am I gonna do? Can't believe you're worried about me getting up the place.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many. Every scene has.
There's
when-
yeah.
Well, it was like when he comes back to the apartment the one time and it's got the Seinfeld.
Yep. We even got the Seinfeld thing. Yep. And he comes out. Yeah, he changes real quick and comes out. And he kind of slides through the door like Kramer almost
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Someone got to second base last night. Well, maybe first and a half.
And Wallace's character is acting like Jerry.
Yeah, he
Yes.
really is. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, so then we kind of talked about the vegan stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
so then we have good old Roxanne.
Oh, this is
The funny thing is when they run into each other the first time because he doesn't even realize. And
Right.
she's like saying all the right things and he's
Mhm.
just like so clueless.
Does
Yeah.
not know what's happening. Yeah. Yeah.
She's like, "We'll see you later."
Yeah.
But yeah,
what is
Next time, I'll be deadly serious next time.
yeah? What's the one thing she says? Oh no, it was right before that. She said something about like, oh, you dated a girl, and she's like, yeah, I was a little bi-curious, and she's
Well,
like, well,
honey,
I'm
I'm a little
bi-curious.
bi-furious. Yeah. Such a good play on words.
Yeah, and it says your BF's about to get F'd in the B. And the thing with that one too is just like you see him, he just like it's just a little finger on the back of her.
Her weak point's the back of her knee. How does that work? Wherever we were making out. Enough.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I love every time the KO.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. And the
Yeah.
coins just explode everywhere.
They turn into coins.
It's
yeah.
so satisfying. Yeah.
He's like, sweet coins.
Yeah. Next is the Katinagi twins.
Yeah.
5 and 6.
Yeah.
That scene was awesome, especially when both like monsters come out of their music and start fighting each other.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I still get goosebumps every time I watch it because it's just so like such a cool concept. Like they're literally doing a
Battle of the Bands.
battle. Yeah. And
Yeah, stage versus stage or whatever they call it. Yeah,
Amp
they're
versus
facing-
amp.
Amp versus amp.
yeah. Yeah. Very good. And, the crowds get a little bit larger as they play these shows. They get a little bit more popular, a little bit more momentum, and
Yeah.
the party gets bigger. It's cool.
Yeah. And then we get G-Man.
Yeah.
So
Dude, he's so great in this too.
Yeah.
He's
it's so funny. So I just wanted to. It was so random. That same actor playing a very similar character is in the Quiz Lady movie,
Oh,
really?
okay. Cool.
and I was like, "Oh, I just saw this guy."
Yeah.
nice.
Like he plays like one of the other quiz people, and he's like, kind of similar, where you're like, "Hey, he seems nice," and kind of, but then he's kind of fake, and kind of like you're like deep down, this guy's not good,
Right.
but like he's super nice to everybody around, and so it's like yeah, and it's like the same dude, same character, but yeah,
That's awesome.
but yeah, so he's super nice, but not.
But not
Yep.
super backhanded
Mm-hmm.
and controlling.
He's like, "Oh yeah, why don't you come to my."
Acoustics in here are amazing.
You made
Chaos
me
Theater, that's what it is.
swallow
You
my
get-
gum. That's going to be in my digestive tract for 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Also the side stuff that kind of throughout it with Knives Chow too is great.
When she's in the window. Doo-doo-doo.
Yeah. And
Such a high school girl.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely,
He
yeah.
probably likes her because she's old. She's probably like 25.
Yeah.
I felt so hurt in that moment.
Yep.
I was like, what?
Yeah, she's doing one of my favorite scenes when they're later in the record shop and all the labels are changed. You know what I'm talking about? Like they change the labels to like the different, you know how they have it would be like different genres in the record shops.
Yeah.
It changes to something else when they're back there, and I think he's about to break up with her. I don't want to say.
Oh, okay. I didn't know this ad.
Yeah. They have one that says like sadcore. There's one that says like.
Oh, that's cool. I
I'm trying to remember.
never noticed
it's different
that before.
from the first time they're in there, and and a lot of them have to represent like how he's feeling.
Right,
Yeah.
the emotion that's behind the scene. Yeah, that's really cool. I had never realized that.
It's little things.
Yeah. I didn't want to read trivia because I want to be surprised by trivia equally as you are when I'm reading it, so I didn't read ahead. I'm just gonna
cool.
It's okay.
go down the list once we get to that.
I have just a couple more, unless you all have anything.
No, I'm thriving off of the highlights you guys are giving and just adding input to it.
Well, I was just say the final fight, like we didn't really talk about because right, he gets the sword of love, right?
First, it's self-respect.
No.
Oh no, the first is love, and then it's self-respect. Yeah. Scott earned the power of love.
Yeah.
And he pulls out his katana blade.
Yep.
Yeah, and then he dies and has to use the one up or the extra life to come back and
do.
Yeah, which then they speed through them all. But like that touch, like I feel like it's one of those things where you could have gotten away with just having to come back and just fight, right? It's like
right, instead of doing the
but it's like then it's like but no, a lot of the games, especially the older retro games, like you had to start over.
Yeah,
like
at that level,
fight through,
through
from
the beginning.
Yeah, so just thought that was
it's
touch.
cool. Yeah, the way they do that.
What just little thing that like when she first delivers the package and leaves, and like the snow melts under her like rollerblades, like random. Didn't have to do that. I mean, it's cool, but
because
like
she's so hot.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. But I'm just like, it's one of those like things that you think about the amount of effort to make that effect look, and yet you're like, no, that we need this in there. Right.
Yeah.
And it's like those little things. Well, like you were talking about with the song, like tabs, like the amount of like extra effort that would take to like change that out. But it's like, no, that's what elevates something good to like excellent. It's like all those little details that you're going the extra mile for things.
I completely forgot to mention that too. That scene you were talking about. 'Cause he's like, dude, this thing's telling me I got mail.
Like then he's like,
this is
the best when he gets the first
boring. Delete. And it's the first message from the first X.
Yeah,
from
he's
Matt
like,
Patel.
we're gonna fight.
Yeah.
And then he's like, didn't you get my email?
I skimmed it.
He skimmed it.
Yeah.
But then he goes and sits at the door.
Yes.
And then
What's the website to Amazon.ca? Amazon.ca.
Oh yeah, and he says they don't deliver.
They don't deliver.
And I'm like, well, I guess maybe back then
They didn't deliver on the weekends.
Yeah.
No. No.
different time for Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so he's like sitting there, he's like, dude. So then he has to wait, and then
Yeah.
But
even the quick like him just like, hey, if I sign this, will you go on a date? And then he just throws it just goes
Straight
in the trash. Yeah.
The scene where Knives shows up unannounced after they break up, and Wallace
Oh,
is
yeah.
like, he
He jumps to the window.
just left, and he like jumps out the window. That's so funny too. Those little
and he
things.
has to grab back his coat or something like he.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
he's
He
like-
comes right back. Yep.
He's just like doing like this to kind of.
That would have. I feel like that would have been hard to
distract her.
coordinate because he also Wallace moves with it to like hide it behind him.
What a
so
good friend he is.
yeah. Their apartment. One of my notes is, I don't think I saw it before. Maybe I'll mention it this time to Claudia. Is they have the tattoo poster on the wall,
Yeah.
which you weren't familiar with, but then I played the song. And you're like, oh, I remember this band.
I heard that song.
It's a very they're Russian.
Yeah, you said Russian.
Band like in the early 2000s, but it's just like that poster was like, I feel like I saw that everywhere at that time. But this is still a little bit later, but like we were talking about, a lot of the stuff they're referencing is from more that time.
Early 2000s.
Yeah, exactly. Or like late 90s. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, or, I mean, all the Zelda stuff's like the 8-bit Zelda
Well,
stuff.
then that's like even,
that's like
more
80s.
retro. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, I got two more things. I don't know if you all have.
Any other notes? Other than it would just be the overall take.
Okay, cool.
The overall message.
Yeah.
And then trivia.
Okay, well, I had to shout out Scott, great taste in drinks, because he drinks Coke Zero this whole movie.
Yep, that's true.
He's got a CZ.
How you doing?
Yeah, because even when he was at the party and he's
this is Coke Zero specifically. Yeah. Oh man, the whole party scene is also so great.
Yeah.
Where he explains Pac-Man and then does it again when he talks to Ramona.
Yeah.
Because he does denies first.
He does it, but that's not at the party. They're playing.
That's right. He does that before, but then at the party he said he does it to Ramona.
Hey,
yeah.
you know Pac-Man? I know of him.
Then he sees her later. She's like, "Oh, you're the Pac-Man guy." He's like, "No, that wasn't me."
That was some total ass. Yeah. That wasn't me. He's like clenching the red Solo cup as he's talking to her. Like,
yeah,
so good.
This is something else I noticed. I don't think I noticed other times watching it, and I didn't see it on all the 7 X's, but a couple of them on like what they're wearing signifies like the number they are in the so I didn't see it on the first one with Matthew Patel, but Chris Evans, he has 2 X's on his belt, so he's the second one, right? Todd is wearing a shirt that just says a 3. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. So I imagine they're on all of them. I didn't see what it was on all of them, but there's probably something on what they're wearing that says like which number they are next, which is pretty cool. Okay, I think that's it now. Yeah.
All right, so overall themes or messages takeaway.
Don't date a high schooler. Or
when you're not in high school.
Right, when you're not in high school.
Dude, Anna Kendrick too, his sister, just like randomly like saying like, "Oh, I bet she's he's like, "Yeah, she's a Catholic schoolgirl, whatever."
Like,
and she's
with
like,
the uniform
really?
and everything. Yeah.
Best is like when Wallace can text his sister.
Oh my gosh.
And he's even like,
oh yeah, he's asleep.
It's like, how did you?
Oh my gosh, he's like, "Boss, how do you do that?" And he's just like dead asleep with his phone out.
So yeah, don't date a high schooler.
Also, like, don't cheat.
Yeah.
Because it does count as cheating on both.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning he's like, "No, I cheated on knives with Ramona." It's like, "You cheated on both of us." And
what's the difference? He's like, "You're not.
You weren't wrong.
You weren't wrong."
Oh my goodness. And
Slip
then
of the tongue.
Right. Tongue. People's feelings matter in relationships. Yes. He hurt a lot of women the way he
drummer.
left them. Yeah,
What's
the drummer.
What is her name?
Oh goodness.
I know, I'm forgetting.
Scott, if your life had a face, I would punch it. What's her name?
It's Allison Pill is the actor, but I don't.
Kim.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. Yeah. He was very destructive in his previous relationships, and
but then by the end, he's and they show her like she's like what he says to her.
He apologizes and he owns up to what he's done, and
Also, I mean, obviously the big thing is him literally defeating himself as Nega Scott at the very end.
Yeah.
Dude, when they come out and they're just talking, he's like, "Oh, he's a great guy. We're getting brunch next week."
Yeah.
They're just,
so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's bad, or he's trying to win over this girl, but he first has to, I guess, wrestle with himself or battle.
Be okay with yourself. Maybe, be okay with who you are,
Mhm.
owning up to your mistakes, right? Like those kind of things, like just maturing.
Right. Exactly. Coming into adulthood.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does he say? He's 22. Is he 22? Yeah, he's 22.
I'm 22. 22.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they pop up like people's ages and stuff.
Like a little fact about them underneath the name.
Yeah, that's great too. Yeah.
But yeah, I think because it is a kind of a setup as like a coming of age story kind of thing. And it's like kind of becoming an adult, a mature adult versus the child that he still was kind of acting like.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm.
Break out the L word.
Lesbians?
The other L word. No, he says lesbian first. And
lesbians?
Then he says lesbians.
Yeah. I'm in lesbians with you.
It's hard.
I feel like he's like no one but Michael Cera could like.
Yes.
It's like who else?
No. There isn't.
And I mean maybe another generation of like actors, but like
sure.
Yeah, we do this
such
a lot.
He has just such a unique style to it.
Definitely, yeah. We do this a lot in film banter when we do IMDb trivia, and we talk about like, oh, this person was supposed to play this, or maybe was going to play.
Right.
And it's like, but like a lot of times it's like, it's so hard to see anyone else, especially when it's such a good performance. But like, sometimes you can be like, oh yeah, this person I could see doing, that role. But yeah, who else could do the how funny Michael Cera is, but also just the perfect amount of awkward, like how he is in Superbad. Like he's literally the same.
Or in Arrested Development.
Exactly.
I mean, literally anything else. He's, like you said, so Michael Cera in this.
We doing trivia now, or we have anything else for
Yeah,
fun?
let's do trivia.
Trivia? Okay.
Okay. The 4 cast members that made up the band Sex Bob-omb spent several weeks learning how to play together as a band. Mark Webber, Allison Pill, and Johnny Simmons all had to learn their instruments from scratch, while Michael Cera had to dumb down his bass playing in order to not outshine his bandmates.
So he must already
he already knew how to play.
He already knew. Mm-hmm. Edgar Wright obtained permission to use the famous theme music from the SNES game The Legend of Zelda by writing a letter to Nintendo saying that it is considered to be the nursery rhyme of this generation. Several sound effects from the game can also be heard throughout the scenes in Scott's band practice room. Wright was also allowed to use the Seinfeld 1989 theme music from a sitcom-style sequence. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was wondering how they went about getting, permission to use all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just ask, I guess, and ask nicely.
At
the party where he talks to Ramona for the first time, Scott holds up a very badly drawn picture of Ramona and asks if anyone has seen her. Director Edgar Wright said Scott was originally supposed to hold up a picture of Ramona from the comic book series, but felt the silly drawing Scott holds up was more comedic. It definitely was. Yeah.
Definitely,
Yeah. Anna Kendrick, as the character Stacy Pilgrim, wears the actual name badge of the real-life Stacy on whom the comic creator Brian Lee O'Malley based the character.
Wait, this is a real-life person that they based from the graphic novel on?
Oh, yeah. The real-life Stacy on whom the comic creator Brian Lee O'Malley based the character. Interesting. Okay. Mary Elizabeth Winstead memorized all the kinds of tea that her character rambles. Crew members kept offering for her to just read it from a piece of paper, but she insisted on learning it all.
Wow.
That's so funny.
That was a lot.
I wondered about that because she was like looking down the line at teas as she was listing them
Yeah,
off.
it looked like
and
she
I
was
thought
reading
maybe
it
she
off.
Right. Yeah. Maybe not.
No. She learned it all.
To avoid an R rating, the word F, UCK, said by Envy to Julie, had to be bleeped out because Scott Pilgrim calls Todd Ingram a cocky cock earlier in the movie. The Canadian band Broken Social Scene wrote the 2 4-second songs "We Hate You, Please
Okay,
Die"
there
and
it
"I'm
is.
So Sad, So Very, Very Sad" for
Nice.
Crash and the Boys. Metric, another Canadian band, wrote the song "Black Sheep," which is
Yep.
performed by Scott's rival band, The Clash of Demon Head. Yep. The 8-bit Universal logo at the beginning of the film was Edgar Wright's idea. It was then designed by his brother Oscar Wright, the concept designer and storyboard artist on the film. The logo seen in the final film was actually only a first draft. It was not yet considered finished when test screenings began, but audiences reacted so positively to it that it was decided that no further work needed to be done.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah, it's nice. And the 8-bit music too.
Yeah.
The
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you call it music. I mean, it is music, but like you call it like it's not a jingle either. It's like
It's the universal
it's kind of like a
theme or yeah,
there's a term for that type of
fanfare.
fanfare. That's
Yeah.
what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I've got one more. The stunt doubles of Lucas Lee are the actual stunt doubles for actor Chris Evans.
I was wondering about that.
Mhm.
That's great. He got his whole
His whole crew.
yeah.
And they got their face in it too.
Yeah.
They got their little,
Normally
5 seconds of
they
fame.
get their face covered up with Chris Evans' face.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Very cool.
Well, what's next?
The next one's the one that I've never seen.
I haven't either. The World's
I don't
End.
think
Oh,
any of us have.
no, I haven't seen it either.
The World's End, which is the third movie in the trilogy.
Yes.
Of the,
Yeah.
Very cool.
Simon Pegg, Nick Frost, right? And then I don't know if anyone else is from the other
Yeah, I
ones. They
don't
might
know if
have
they
a
repeat.
couple people
Yeah.
in there.
yeah. So next week, World's End. The World's End.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, that was a good one.
Yes.
Good movie.
Very enjoyable.
Good
Definitely.
movie.
There's so many more quotes too that we
Oh, I
didn't
know.
even
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed as much as we did. And if you did, please like and subscribe on YouTube or follow us or subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. And, if you feel the need, as we would like you to, give us a 5-star rating. Helps spread the word. And if you'd like to send us any feedback, you can email us at feedback@screentimepod.com. And if you want to follow any of us on Instagram, I'm at jyoungbar.
I'm at Claudia Youngbar.
I'm at Jared Youngbar.
And we will talk to you guys next week.